Woo! Steeler Nation, welcome back to the Steeler Wade Show. How'd you like that one? Bam, in the middle. Thank you for checking out the show and coming back and watching again. Man, I'm still excited about that Bengal win. Folks, you know, I know my shirt's inside out, right? Because, like, this is my work shirt. So this is what I was wearing while I worked. And today, I was just like, feeling like I'm wearing a Wildcat's hide. You ever know that one song? Alley-oop, boop, 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 alley-oop. Wearing the skin from a Wildcat's hide. Well, I felt like that when I was, like, took off my sweater. So, still excited about that win, and everybody is gushing over Mason. Isn't it great? Whoa! Steeler Nation feels good. Man, I really wanted to keep going. I wanted to go for just Steeler Nation across the world. I want everybody just, I would love that story. It'd be wonderful. And that story could be told in a great way, so many different ways, But hearing a lot of neat things about what the players are saying, playing with Rudolph and even defensive players. And, it's awesome. It's great. I said in past podcast that just beat the Bengals and I'll be a satisfied man. And I really feel that. I really do. I really feel good, especially with Mason right now. And what happens, I think my contentment is because I can see a neat future. Okay? And I'll get back to that. The numero uno quarterback, Kenny Pickett, was caught answering a question to which there's going to be a lot of controversy out there, right? Basically, the reporter asked him in the sense, and please, I might get this mistaken, but in the sense of, did you learn anything watching from the sidelines, And Kenny has always been very good decent with the media, And this time he just replied, no, I did not learn anything watching from the sidelines. So they're going to take that in a bunch of different directions and go with it where you want. Soap opera, these are the days of our Steeler Nation. You know what I mean? It's just like, how can you resist? I want to give a couple shout outs. First, Miles Jack. For what he did, that was cool. And it's been so long since we've had a sack from we've had a few of them this year. But prior to this, and hats off to Coach Curry, But to see a linebacker sack a quarterback like Steeler do, right? Remember? Wasn't that nice when, it was almost like one of the highlights of the entire game for me when he had that sack. To have an inside linebacker sack the quarterback. It was awesome. And all the help around, Anybody, there's only been a few, but if you watch my past podcasts, I've always been a big fan of Boykin, And there's a cool story I heard out there about Boykin. And basically, best I could tell it is that the play... it's like 40 degrees outside. So I think it's like turbo weather. So we get it on our street. But apparently, Mason Rudolph had basically switched up what the play was going to be and threw it to Miles Boykin. That was his reception. Going on that whole ritual that we have just been beaten down with. As far as like, oh, well, if Boykin goes out 6 out of 7 times, they're going to run. Or 8 out of 9 times, they're going to run. We just always hear this. And being a fan of Miles Boykin, I always thought it was like a diss on him. You know what I mean? Because he's rad. He's really a cool player. You know what I mean? A really cool player. A really Steeler guy. And I always kind of like got defensive when I heard that. Like, well, it's going to be a run. Well, shit, he's a good damn blocker. But it still was like. And Rudolph changed up. Made a nice little completion to him. So that was another little shout out. It's crazy. Landon Roberts with the pec injury. I don't know shit. But TJ Watt was out for a long time. I can't imagine having a small pec injury. So basically, Omar Khan was 0 for 3 with his inside linebackers making it through the year. I'm not dissing on him, but I'm like, it's crazy how good he hit on all 3 guys, and all 3. I'm going to have to say, I don't know anything, but Landon Roberts, I would imagine he won't be able to play. That's the way, I don't know anything. So not one of all these great things that him and Andy Weidel did, they're all gone. They finally made it all gone for the whole season. So, one of the things, okay, this is probably not going to be popular for me to say, but this is just a question out there to see if people are giving me some comments. Is the defense worse when Minkah Fitzpatrick is out on the field? As far as like when he's playing the game or when he's injured? I've been trying to think because it's like, I remember thinking about how good KZ was doing at the free safety position compared to the strong safety position when the things were happening, in that portion. And I'm like, well, there's these losses. Minkah was playing during these, whatever. No, it's for a future thing. Ooh. Ooh. Part 2 of the podcast is Dreamland. The reason why I'm thinking that I'm content with where we are right now is that I'm looking at our future. And numero uno is the offensive coordinator. There's going to be big changes. I imagine that Tomlin's going to get an extension. And we're going to bring in this offensive coordinator. Let's just imagine. Let's go into dreamland and imagine that we win one of the next 2 games. With Mason. Just say with Mason. It's easier, Let's just say we win 2 of the next 2 games, but don't make the playoffs. That might be the absolute best scenario. I want to make the playoffs. Don't trip. I want it all. I want everything. I'm talking at minimalistic ideas as far as an offer and an enticement for this offensive coordinator that will come in. If we were to just say, if we got to the point of winning 1 of the next 2, and Rudolph put on a good show, okay? And say Kenny came in and lost 1 or vice versa, whatever. How enticing would it be for an offensive coordinator to come in and say, we have Mason Rudolph, who has just shown off in the last 2 out of 3 games, maybe 3 out of 3, and still miss the playoffs. Who knows? We have a number 1 draft pick that we're crazy about. And we will let you have your personal scouting department have an influence on our next draft, and we'll give you a 3rd to a 4th round if we believe that he's worth a round and a half better. That'd be pretty enticing. Hey folks, it's a cold night here in Southwest Michigan. If you would like this video, then I would press the like button. If you want to like more things, press subscribe. Have a great night, Steeler Nation. Thank you. Alley-oop boop. Wearing that skin from a wildcat's hide. Oh, Steelers, I forgot. Remember at the beginning of this whole podcast, I said we will make the playoffs if we can split our AFC North games. 4. We're at 4, dude. And dudettes. Press like. Press subscribe. Good night, Steeler Nation. Alley-oop boop.